Welcome to C arrays and for loops. By the way, I have to specify what type of arrays that we're actually using because in C++, compared to some of the other languages that you may have worked on before, there are two different sets of arrays. Now, both of them are going to look very similar to what we have, and both of them syntactically are going to look very similar. But the other ones, which is called a dynamic arrays, well, it's frankly dynamic. So, and we get into a whole different topic about that. It's not covered here. These are the very basic and first arrays that came with C++. And again, we'll be able to translate pretty quickly into the dynamic arrays that we'll get into later on. So what's an array? Array is going to be our first major data structure in C++ or C, where we are able to group like items into a structure called an array. Now the array is going to have some type of name, never name it X by the way. Every block is called an element where I get to basically shove one item into each of those elements. And each of those elements have to be homogeneous, which may be different than some other programming languages, so that's why we're going over this. You'll also notice something else that's really important. It's like a locator. How do I locate which element to look at? Well, we use the indices, which always starts off at 0 and always increments by 1. There's not a 0.5 or anything else like that. And that's actually where I kind of help out and use for loops to help us go through and look for items within the array. There are no negative numbers like maybe in some programming languages like Python, but they all start off with 0 and come up. And you got to be careful because we start off with 0, our size is always +1 of the max index. So in this one here, even though that says 10, that was 11 boxes that you and I just created for this particular array. So watch out for that +1 discrepancy because it will come up quite often.